And we're live here tonight on the WFO Racing Network. I'm Matt Egan, joined by Jacob Young, as we're getting ready to go racing in the Stephen Daniels Memorial 205 here at Talladega Motor Speedway. It is the first round in the chase for the WFO Cup. I guess it's not the Cup, it's the ARCA Menard Series. But how are you doing tonight, Jacob, as we get ready to go racing? It should be a good race here tonight, as we're just, getting ready to go green. Qualifying just wrapping up. Your start top of the field, Nick Gardner right now. Now, Nick Gardner, we've seen him tonight. We've seen him on track in the past, Jacob. Definitely a fast driver. He knows his way around pretty much any racetrack you put him on. What do you expect to see out of him tonight? Yeah, that is for sure. And yeah, we heard it in practice. We heard it from other drivers that these cars, they don't push well. It causes these guys to spin out. They don't lock bumpers. It's going to be a big thing. And, you had some insight as to why they don't lock bumpers. Yeah, that's definitely a good point there, and actually makes a lot of sense. You notice, if you look at the front of these cars, we'll take a look at Hal Amy, for example. The front of these race cars, it's a little bit of a lip down on the bumper, and you look at the back, like you said, the back just kind of angles itself up. It makes that perfect little connection between the two of those race cars, and that's where things get a little bit dicey right there as far as making a connection. As far as, I should say, drafting with these two race cars. Yeah, that is for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how this race all plays out, of course, with a competition caution as well on lap number 28 in memory of Stephen Daniels. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers play this into their strategy, because remember, these guys are running about a half fuel load, so probably somewhere in the vicinity of 28 laps, or 20 laps, something to that extent, is what we can probably expect on a fuel run. So I wonder if they're going to try and play that into a fuel strategy, is playing the competition yellow. Let's talk to some drivers. We'll try and talk, to Ryan Daniels himself. And Ryan, have you got a copy on us? Well, I mean, this is a special race for you tonight, so tell us a little bit about it. Now, this race in memory of your father, tell us a little bit about the man this race is in honor of. All right, man. Well, best of luck to you. You're starting third tonight, and I mean that's a prime starting spot at any racetrack, but especially a track like Talladega. Uh, what is your strategy for this race tonight? Hey, man, I hope to see you in victory lane tonight. I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, anytime you win at Talladega is awesome, but especially tonight, I'd love to see you get to victory lane. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to your team, and we'll probably be talking to you throughout the race. Hey, here's hoping. Best of luck to you, man. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ryan W. Daniels, the Iceman, driver of the 00 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Camry. Jacob, as we get ready to go racing, certainly a lot of emotions running through these drivers' heads and a lot of tension, I'd say, between not drivers, but just in the air. You can think about it. It's Talladega. It's the first round of the chase. There's a lot on the line here tonight. A lot of these drivers, these chase drivers, want to make a statement. For those of you out there, your chase drivers, Glenn Jamieson, Ricky Fagone, Jared Cox, Steve Blankenship, Jeff Martin, Ryan Daniels, Trent Ripley, and Artie Peterson, all looking to make a statement opening up this race with a win. Who do you think's going to be the one to take the win, and who would you like to see win this race, Jacob? Yeah, without a doubt, that's a good pick. Well, my prediction to win this race is going to be a little bit different than who I'd, like to see win this race. My prediction to win the race, I'm going to go with a little bit of an outside pick. I'm going to go with someone who hasn't won a race this season. I'm going to go with Tyler Lambert. Talladega's good at making first-time winners. I think he might be the one to win it. Driver I'd love to see win this race. Well, we just talked to him. I'd love to see Ryan Daniels get the win here tonight. This race would mean so much to him if he could get it. He's in the chase, and it's a race in honor of his father. It would be amazing to see that 00 go to victory lane. And hey, he's starting third place. It's a good place to be in. We'll get you with your starting lineup right about now. Row number 1, you're going to be looking for Nick Gardner and Aiden Young. Row number 2, how about Ryan Daniels and Artie Peterson Jr.? So Iceman Motorsports, I'm not going to say locks out the first 2 rows because they didn't. They locked out the second row, and they have one of their own in the first row. So they pretty much got the front of the field covered. Jeff Martin, Trent Ripley, row 3. Row 4, David White, Adam McKinney with Ricky Fagone and Tim Hamlet in row 5. Row 6, Joseph Andujar, there's the other Iceman car, and Steve Seegers. Row 7, Austin Wagner and Leandro Castro. Row 8, Tyler Lambert and Richard Holland. Row 9, Hal Amy and Andrew Wagner. Row 10, Glenn Jameson and Bradley Cooper. Row 11, Derek Robinson, Garrett Hemlinger. Row 12, Nick Reynolds, Jared Cox, John Senu, and Steve Blankenship in row 13, rounding out your field of drivers. 77 laps of action coming at you from the Talladega Motor Speedway. Jacob, how long do you think the longest green flag run's going to be tonight? Yeah, that is a good prediction there, and we'll see just how it all plays out here. You know how Talladega is. We saw it last night. It is a pretty exciting racetrack to watch. Pit strategy, I think that's going to be the key thing here tonight to winning this race. What say you? Well, my prediction on that is going to be, I think our green flag run, we're going to get 28 laps green. I think we're going to see that on this initial run. I think these drivers are going to try and play that for their pit strategy. Knowing that they have a caution, I think they're all going to want to pit then. Well, they're going to pit then anyway, but I think they're going to want to go green till then, you know? It would be perfect for them, too, because you think about it, if they go that distance, and they'll know they'll get about 30 laps on a fuel run, which I think is even stretching it for these guys with a half tank. But, you know, that would be pretty good for these drivers to split this race in sorts. Pace cars down. Here we go for the first time tonight out of the tri-oval. Green flag is out in the Stephen Daniels Memorial Race, down and away. Great start to this race here tonight. They are side by side as it stands, going down and away into turn 1. Everyone getting up to full speed, and you know how this track is, Jacob. These drivers take a while to come up to speed, and especially in these K&N cars, it takes a little while longer to even get up to speed with these cars. But it looks like the 69 of Aiden Young getting help from Artie Peterson. Looks like they're trying to lead this first lap. Ryan Daniels down on the bottom with Nick Gardner right now. Yeah, the inside line did get a good run, but they did not lead that first lap. Aiden Young was able to do it, but you are right. Through turns 1 and 2, it is Nick Gardner now, your new race leaders. They go down the back straightaway. It's a question, though, of will that be able to be kept up? Down the backstretch, Aiden Young's looking fast. That outside line, they might not be able to lock bumpers, but I tell you what, they're doing everything short of it, and they are making a lot of good stuff happen. Yeah, and right now only 3 laps into this race, and these drivers are starting to race like it's the final 4. You look at Adam McKinney there up on that high side of the racetrack. He's looking pretty fast right now. And Artie Peterson, I don't want to say he's getting anxious to make a pass yet, but he's starting to do that little dance like he wants to make a pass for position. I don't think he will quite yet. I think it's a little too early to ditch your own teammate, you know? Yeah, they're side by side still for the race lead as they come through the trioval for lap number 5. Looks like 3 wide for a second. I think that 10 car, Ricky Fagone, has gotten fallen out of line. And he has. He's going to go all the way to 15th place, nearly the rear of that pack, as he's going to be racing now around Andrew Wagner or Hal Amy. This is really... I think these drivers here, these are the guys that are just kind of hanging in the back, waiting for something to happen wreck-wise at the front of the field. You notice drivers say Trent Ripley, and Trent started good too. Trent started 6th, and he's fallen all the way back to 20th place. And I think that's by design, Jacob. I think he wants to ride in the back right now and just keep that car out of trouble. Yeah, well, everyone's playing it smart right now because you got to remember that, again, they all know they have a caution flag coming 28 laps into this race. So I don't think anyone's really taking any big risks right now because they kind of know in the back of their head, well, it's going to reset itself at lap 28. So it's not a matter of they need to be in this position because that's when the pit stop's going to be, and they don't know, you know, if they'll be able to get back to that spot. Of course, as I say that, we got a big crash. Adam McKinney's in it. Artie Peterson on his lid. Glenn Jamieson, that 63, went for a ride as well. But Artie Peterson got the worst of it, and hopefully they have a fast fix. If not, that's one of 4 Iceman cars out of this race. What happened here? Looks like Nick Gardner, I think he was trying to side draft off him and just, again, you make contact, ever so slight contact. Already goes completely up into the catch fence. Trent Ripley gets through it. That 38 car does not, however. 38 machine of Derek Robinson. Now, Robinson, you got to feel bad for him. You know, he was out there by himself on that top lane, just tags Adam McKinney. Nowhere for Derek Robinson to go. I mean, that car got destroyed. Trent Ripley even got some damage in that, as did Tim Hamlet. And you go back to Tim Hamlet. Tim Hamlet was the last car in that lead pack, Jacob, because he was trying to stay out of trouble. And what happens, as they say, trouble finds him. Trent Ripley as well, because Trent Ripley was trying to check up for that wreck. And, you know, trying to check up, Tim Hamlet gets into the back end of him. We'll ride on board, you know, Trent Ripley's on board here. And Jacob, just walk us through what you saw. Yeah, without doubt. And you look at Nick Gardner coming into the pits, no hood up, or no hood down. The hood was full up, but it is down now as he is in his box. Looks like one fast fix, at least on these cars. But unfortunately, Artie Peterson, he's going to call it in a night, and he'll be scored 24th place. Not a good place for him to be, and in not a good place for that one team, Iceman Motorsports. They've lost one of their teammates. They're down to 3 cars now, and that's not good for Artie, especially. He is in the chase, and, you know, he was looking to make a good statement here tonight at Talladega, and it's just unfortunate that that's, you know, the way the situation unfolds. And we will be right back on the American Sim Network. Ricky Fagone coming down pit lane. All right, and we're back live here on the American Sim Network. Double them up and turn them loose again. 10 out of 77 laps in, 66 laps to go. Jacob Young, or 68 laps to go. I was a little bit overeager on that one there. Me, Jacob Young, and Corey Cook got you covered in the booth here tonight. We'll let Jacob Young get you at the green as they work their way down the backstretch. And this will be a good restart here. A good restart there for Aiden Young. He's got Ryan Daniels in tow right behind him now. And these guys, not only are their teammates, but they're about really great friends. So they're going to work together real well here tonight. I think they're in a perfect spot now. They're locked up. I don't think you're going to see these two drivers unlock bumpers, metaphorically speaking, till the end of the race. And it's going single file, which is interesting that they're deciding to go single file here. And right now it is side by side again. Leandro Castro is getting himself to the outside lane. And he's doubling up. I think he's got Joseph Andujar in tow behind him. And it's a pretty good battle up here. Ryan Daniels, he'll go to the top now. Ryan W. Daniels wanting to lead a lap. He's in front of Jeff Martin. I'm surprised to see that. Out of anyone, I think Ryan Daniels would have gone up to pass. I didn't think Aiden Young would have been one of them. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I think they'll team up because they'll get 1-2. But it's just a matter of Ryan Daniels jumping down in front of Aiden now. Well, that's a good way to look at it for sure. The way these guys race, it's all a matter of just getting to the front of the field. But, I mean, the way I look at it, I think it's too early in the race for that kind of mentality. I think with 10 laps to go, sure, your friends are, far and few in between, and the only friend you have at that point is you yourself and I should say. But I think, 14 laps into the race, the whole goal is to make friends and get someone to work with you throughout the race so you can be there at the end. If you make everyone your enemy too early on, you're not going to have anyone at the end of the race. And you see Ryan Daniels getting a little bit aggressive on that top lane in front of Jeff Martin. He's trying to hold off Nick Reynolds right now. I think Ryan really wants to get back down on the bottom of the racetrack. But, I mean, right now, he's stuck on the top right now. So I think it's just a matter of just trying to make the best of what he's got. And Jeff Martin is making it hard for him. Because I think Jeff wants to get in front of him, Well, you think about it, they're doing it because you're able to side draft here, and you're not able, and the other thing is you're not able to lock bumpers, or at least not for long because of the way these cars react, so it's a little bit easier to hang with them just because of the nature of the way this car races. Ryan Daniels is clear for a moment, but again, he has to think better of it because you saw what happened there. If he had kept going down, that would have been a lot of contact, and, well, that would not have ended well for anyone. And you see the 54, Nick Reynolds trying to get up to the top of the racetrack. Not going to happen for Nick Reynolds. I tell you what, Jacob and, Corey, this is where things are getting dicey. And we're only 16 laps into this race. These guys want to be there at the end. They got to settle it down. Well, Jacob, what's your take on it? Yeah, and, wrecks happen there, and you say when you see these guys start to squiggle around and they get uneasy in their lane, that's another potential for wrecks, just because of the way these cars, not necessarily because of the way they handle, but you see guys start to move around. You look at Jeff Martin, and it looks like a snake moving back and forth because it just opens a potential for maybe touching I almost said touching Jacob Young. Aiden Young's door is what I meant. And that's where you have the potential for a wreck there, too. So I think some of these guys up front, they might start to cycle to the back, or at least maybe to say around where Hal Amy is or Trent Ripley, because they at the moment right now probably don't want to deal with the potential of getting in a crash. And is still side by side at the front of the field. You see Ryan Daniels doing a great job holding off Jeff Martin. Although Jeff Martin, I don't know if he's trying to breathe the car or trying to think about a potential to get that car to the front of the field. But he is still doing that shuffle. And I tell you what, it's making me a little bit uneasy. I got a feeling we might see something transpire here before lap 28. What do y'all think? Yeah, right here, 21 laps in. "21 laps in at the stripe, and everyone is going." Oh, Ryan Daniels has gone around. Oh, man. And I said they were getting a little bit too dicey at the front of the field. And you know he's got to be happy that there's a competition caution coming his way in just a few laps. Looked like the 54 car, Nick Reynolds, he was racing around him, and they just hooked bumpers. And, you know, this is what they were talking about in practice. You see it happen, Jacob. Just ever so slight contact, just right under the back bumper, Ryan Danielson. Man, that's a miracle that he didn't hit that inside wall. Yeah, and right here you can see, I mean, he's all by himself out of the draft, but, you know, even if he goes a lap down, he would get the lucky dog. So, I mean, you just think about it. The biggest thing there is that he didn't get any damage, and you said it best. The track is so wide that, kind of like Daytona, and even not Daytona, because Daytona's got the grass down half the back straightaway, but it's just such a wide back straightaway that luckily, he didn't hit anything. Oh, man, there's the caution. He'll stay on the lead lap, and we got one on their lid. I think it's Nick Reynolds. And it is. So Nick Reynolds, Austin Wagner go around. Austin Wagner, same thing that happened, just a matter of bump drafting gone, not even bump drafting, just locking bumpers gone wrong. Hal Amy's hood went up during that incident as well. That he did. Jeff Martin, your race leader, and Ryan Daniels, the beneficiary of all this. Derek Robinson, he'll be back on the lead lap, and we'll have 21 drivers on the lead lap in this race. We'll be right back on the American Sim Network. Down the back straightaway they go. Corey Cook will get us with the green flag. It'll be Jeff Martin, Leandro Castro, Austin Wagner, Joseph Andujar, and Aiden Young up front. Top 5 drivers as they run. It's been an exciting race so far. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yeah, they'll race for about 2 laps. Well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Everyone will, of course, be on the same fuel strategy at that point as if they weren't already. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'll let you get the green here. Yeah, good restart there for Jeff Martin. And again, remember, they're only running, for about 2 laps here. So I don't expect to see these guys get too aggressively, you know. It is side by side here a little bit further back. And yeah, Austin Wagner is falling back. But look at this. Aiden Young jumps to the high lane. And this is where the battle for the lead happens. They're coming to lap 28 now. Remember, I think they have to complete this lap, then the competition yellow. So we'll see it on the start of lap 29. But it is side by side for the race lead. And like I do believe there is a bonus for leading this lap. I think there is a prize there. So Aiden Young wants to bring that home for Iceman Motorsports and himself, of course. And he's got Austin Wagner behind him. Or Andrew Wagner, I'm sorry. And he's doing a good job of it right now. That outside line, they've seemed to be hooked up tonight. They've done a really good job of it. Oh, save it, save it, save it. No save. Jeff Martin's gone around. I don't know who led. Nick Reynolds' hood is up again. I don't know who the leader's going to be. I don't know. I think Andrew, maybe, or was it Castro? Castro officially. Or maybe, might have even been Aiden Young. I think iRacing's going to give it to Aiden. No. I don't know. I think Andrew is where it's going to cycle out to. Yep. So Andrew Wagner is where that cycles out to being. So he'll pick up $15. And we'll get a replay at that crash. What happened here, folks? Looks like he was giving Aiden a push, and that push just went wrong. We've seen that bite drivers 3 different times tonight. Jeff Martin got a big piece of it, as did Nick Reynolds. So that'll be Leandro Castro. All right, so Leandro, your race leader. An interesting development there. Well, I guess officially, if you want to look at the ticker, technically, I guess he was leading. You see the 59 car. I think that's what David White got taken out as well. But yeah, Leandro did come across the stripe. So even with the EOL, he will get that, he did have it at the line. We'll talk to Aiden Young after he pits and get his perspective on all of that. I imagine he'll have some interesting things to say, don't you think, Jacob? Well, we'll bring Aiden Young up and see what he thinks of it. I'll let you get the word in with him, Jacob. And here we go. Take it away. All right, and that was Aiden Young, ladies and gentlemen. Sounding a little bit unhappy about the turn of events when he spun out. And yeah, I mean, these guys, they got to take it a little bit easy here, you know. They know these cars hook themselves, and they're kind of racing like it doesn't. And it's led to quite a few cautions tonight. We're actually working caution number 3, which would have been a caution anyway, but it did officially come out before it should have. Well, we'll see how it all plays out when we... Yep, they are doing a 3-wide victory... not victory salute, 3-wide salute. I would imagine to Steven Daniels. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of just taking it easy when you consider it. I mean, yeah, these drivers probably didn't realize these cars get the way they do until fairly recently. But I mean, you imagine the word probably got around pretty quick to everyone, you know? Yeah, 1 lap to green here, and hopefully they won't be going green 3 wide. I think that would be a little bit of an interesting thing, but I don't think that would work out too well. It is Joseph Andujar, Aiden Young, Ryan Daniels up front with Leandro Castro. Jacob Young will get us with the green flag here. Jacob, what do you expect on this restart? Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out, I guess. And you mentioned the two teammates right up next to each other. Well, I imagine they know how these cars draft and hopefully won't hook each other around, though that would certainly be a turn of events. What do you think there? All right. Yeah, good restart there for Aiden Young, Ryan Daniels. Though it looks like they're both going to jump down to the bottom. I'm a bit surprised by that. You would think that they would have gone straight to the front, you know? Yeah, and you can't blame them there. These guys have been running very aggressively so far tonight, so I would imagine they want to get kind of to the back of the field and take things safe. We still have, a really long way to go tonight. We still have 45 laps. That is, as we saw last night, Jacob, we know that's a long amount of racing left here. That's a good point there, too, as, the leader's going to be burning more fuel. Aiden Young won't be, and neither will Ryan Daniels. That outside line, everyone there is going to be burning fuel because the way they're not bunched up, you have drivers like, say, Trent Ripley back there, stuck all by himself. Nick Gardner, I'm surprised to see him still running, honestly, the way he's been in a few wrecks. But, I mean, hey, I love to see a driver just be able to, brush themselves off, keep it going, or brush the car off and keep it going, I really should say. So he's keeping that thing on track nice and clean. 35 laps in this time around. 19 drivers left on track. Things are getting exciting in the front. Steve Seeger's going for the lead, Jacob. Yeah, Jeff T. Martin, he was involved in that last caution, and he's done a pretty good job recovering. Well, the lucky thing for Jeff was that last crash, I really don't think he got a lot of damage in it. I think he just kind of got spun out up towards the top of the track, but everyone kind of avoided him. So he's kept that car pretty much clean all night, which has been very lucky for him, Yeah, right now 37 laps into the race, and it is side by side by side at the front of the field. Although Ryan Daniels, Aiden Young, they're working together good. They got really the entire Iceman team, what's left of it, on the bottom of the racetrack. The first 3 cars on the bottom of the track. And what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to stay there for the rest of the night? Yeah, I think that's a good point there. 41 laps to go. This next pit stop will most likely be the final stop of the race if it becomes a green flag stop, which I don't know if it will. And you notice the 3 drivers on the bottom, and the only reason I reference them so much is because we know they're teammates, and they're not really there. I saw them starting to wiggle around, so I wonder how long they're going to try and work together. The problem with the team is if they all want to lead, then they can't work together. You know, that's where a problem comes into play. Hal Amy has had a good night so far. That number 3 machine being able to run himself up towards the front of the field. Yeah, that is for sure. And you notice Hal has just had a great night so far. I don't think he's been in one wreck. I think he's kept that car completely clean. Well, I mean, you know, other than that, I don't think I've seen the car go, you know, wrong way down a one-way street. Which has been lucky for him. And he's right now, I mean, he's in a good spot if he stays there for really the rest of the night, you know? Well, what do you think, Jacob? What do you think about Hal's chances here tonight at Dega? Yeah, that is for sure. You got to be careful. You got to know who you're working with and know who's working with you, especially here tonight. You got to know who's working behind you because it's a matter of can they draft you without wrecking you. As we've seen that happen, you know, 3 different times. This is where things have gone wrong. And I think that's where some of these guys are going to be a little bit weary of having certain people behind them. And, you know, that's where a problem might arise. So it has been a good night here so far. We've had a lot of good racing. And, you know, I think who's everyone's pick to win? Because I know we talked about at the start of the show, but, you know, the way things go, it always kinds of changes every once in a while. So let's revise it. Anyone, we'll start with you, Corey. Well, if you had to name a name, what name would you go with? If there's anyone that just stands out to you. All right, and Jacob, who's your bet? Yeah, I think Steve Seegers, too, is a good pick. Not my pick to win this race, but I mean, you know, he's had a pretty clean, just a pretty clean night so far. I mean, I don't think we've talked about him a lot, but that's not necessarily a bad thing at Talladega, because if you're being talked about at Dega, usually one of two things is happening. You're either getting wrecked or you're leading the race. In this case, Steve is doing very well to try and lead this race, but I don't think he's been wrecked. I think he's just playing a smart race. He might be a good pick, but I'm sticking with Ryan Daniels. I just want to see that car win. I think it would be amazing to see him win in his, Father's Memorial race. And right now, coming to lap 44, it is now 35 laps to go. When do you think we see these guys start to hit the pits? Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So you're thinking that they might not even have one last pit stop, potentially. Is that what I'm guessing, right? And, yeah, that'll be interesting to see if they do go green to the end. I think that would be pretty awesome to see there, is if these guys can manage to save that much fuel, but that's going to be a hard sell, you know? Yeah, well, I'll let you know in about 1 second. But I think you are right. Green flag came out. Yep, lap 31. Yeah, I think it's just going to be one more stop, though. I don't think it's going to be a lot more needed. Yeah, and right now you see Hal Amy's starting to get ready to try and lead this race. I think Hal's going to I don't know if he's going to pit first or make a move for the lead first. What do you think? Well, we'll see what happens. I think he's going to try and go for it here, maybe with Austin Wagner. You saw them working together earlier. Although maybe not. Looks like Austin and Derek Robinson are working together at the moment. Jeff might not be a bad pick to win this race. I think that's what Jacob was saying a few moments ago. Yeah, right now it's 47 laps in. Not a lot of racing left. Just 30 more circuits around this racetrack. Which again, Talladega, that's not a lot of racing, and a lot can happen, and everyone does a little bit of a wiggle there. And that it was. Luckily, everyone avoids a wreck. I think right now, I think right now everything's going to be pretty good for the, as far as not getting a crash because, you know, everyone's single file. I think we've kind of gotten past the big crashes here tonight, you know? Well, we'll see what happens. 49 laps in. And I think, like I said, I think we're going to have a pretty good race to the end. I think it's going to be clean to the, I don't know about clean to the end. I think we might see something at the end. But you notice Hal Amy, like you said, he's just riding on the bottom right now. I think you might be right that he might be waiting for that, 3 laps of fuel left, like you said. And that he has. But Derek Robinson's still making it work. You say he's gotten hung out to dry, but he hasn't really fallen out of the top 10 either. He's stayed right up there. And you can see. Well, I think there's a strategy to that. I think it's just a matter of they don't want to get caught potentially in a crash. I think they're probably thinking, well, by staying on that outside line, it's a little bit safer. Jeff Martin down pit lane. This is crucial. This is the last stop of the race, I would imagine. I think the 31 down pit lane. That being Holland. This is again, crucial pit stop for all these drivers. Steve Seegers, who we were just talking about in the pits. Richard Holland out and away, all gas and go for him, no tires. Not a bad strategy call. I think that's actually probably a pretty smart thing to do here at Talladega. What do you think, Jacob? Oh, man, he was doing so well, too. Wow, yeah, that is not a good sign. I don't know. I saw the tires go up on that car. I don't know why I'd be taking tires. I don't think this is really, you need to take tires right now. With, 26 laps to go? I don't think tires is a necessary part of this race. Yeah, I mean, that's his night pretty much shot because unless we get another caution, he's out all by himself, I mean, you can watch him right now as he comes up to speed. There is no one around that truck. You know what I meant. Look, I did a truck race last night. I broadcast a truck race last night at this track. Yeah, as soon as I said it, I realized, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a second. But right now, Leandro Castro, Nick Gardner, Ryan Daniels, Trent Ripley, Andrew Hart, Hamlet, pretty much that whole group of drivers there, Aiden Young, the leader of it, they're all coming out of pit lane too, and they did the smart thing. They pitted as the group of leaders, so you know what that means? It means they get to stay the group of leaders. Their positions do not change. And look at, there goes Richard Holland all the way around with Jeff Martin. And this is going to be interesting to see how they react with Aiden Young here. Everyone's going to scramble. It'll be 3 wide. Joseph Andujar, Austin Wagner, and look at the run they get on the top lane. That's an impressive run right there. Yeah, you know, I'm not surprised. A lot of those drivers in that group are, if not team. Oh, big wreck. Andrew Wagner, rather, on his lid. This will set us up for an interesting restart with just under 20 laps to go. Jeff T. Martin also involved. So you can see here, folks, what happens. Looks like, netcode contact. Ricky Fagone and Jeff Martin. And they both go around, unfortunately. So that'll be that. Jeff T. Martin, I think that might be his night over. Richard Holland, your race leader. We'll be right back. Back live as we get ready to go green. Jacob Young will get you with the green flag, which might very well be the final green flag of the night. 19 laps to go here. Yeah, good restart there. So, pretty good restart for these drivers as they go all single file at the moment. And right now it is still single file with 18 laps to go. The multi-million-dollar question going to be who wins the race, and, you know, how do they win the race? I think it's just going to come down to like a, last lap pass. What do you think? Yeah, 17 laps to go. Not a lot of racing left, and they are doubled up. Once again, it is Joseph Andujar, your race leader. I tell you what, this is where things are getting exciting, though. With Joseph Andujar out front leading the show, trying to do the best that he can to keep that car out in front, but he's only got help from Ryan Daniels there down on that bottom lane. Looks like a 38 Derek Robinson trying to get in line with him, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, Austin and Andrew, they are both great pushers up top, and I think they might have something on that top lane. Yeah, without a doubt, they are a great group of drivers. And that outside lane is really starting to form up. Now, the big question, though, do you think we go green to the end? Yeah, that is for sure. So just a handful of laps to go. 15 laps left in this race. And just who's going to come out on top. Like I said, I really think it is going to just come down to that final last lap pass at the moment. I don't think we're going to really see anyone. I don't think we're going to see the driver leading the race right now win it. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to go, no, I don't want to be the guy leading unless the checkered flag is out. I want to be the guy in second place on the last lap, because I think right there, then you just have that perfect spot. You know what I'm saying? Well, that is a true point, but with any luck, the guy behind you will work with you, and you'll be able to get to at least the tri-oval before he tries something. And that would be a situation like that where I think that'll make something happen good. I think they'll help each other till the last lap. Because you know what they say, everything's good till the final 5 laps of the race. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen between them two. I mean, you're right, but yeah, that ain't never going to happen between them. But, Jacob, what's your insight on all this with just 12 more circuits around? Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Right now, 11 laps to go, and I tell you what, the driver I have picked to win this race, he's doing perfectly in second place right now. Again, what a win this would be for Ryan Daniels to win this race in honor of his father. I think that would just be a perfect night for him, you know? Cap off the start of that chase. The only way it would be better is if his team went 1, 2, 3. Which you got Aiden Young sitting back there in 9th place right now. That it could happen. He's got 10 laps to get up there. But I think he's going to have some serious competition from the Wagner brothers. And we've been talking about even Glenn Jameson. And you know what? At one point, I think Glenn was a lap, I think maybe even 2 laps down. And he started 19th and now up to 7th. And like I said, I think it was 2 laps down. And look at him, Jacob. He's got a shot to win this race. Yep, here comes Jeff Martin. All by himself, though. That I don't know if is the best strategy. Yeah, well, Hal Amy wants to win. He's got the good old number on the car. I mean, that is a number that is won at this track, I think, more times than any other driver in real life. You know, that number 3 car. And that might be giving him a little bit of confidence. 8 laps to go. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely one that believes in superstition. I think you have lucky numbers, unlucky numbers, lucky schemes, unlucky schemes. I think anytime you come to Daytona or Talladega and you have the 3 car, I think that gives you just a little bit of luck. Well, luck doesn't give you talent. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic, because if I go into my opinions on Austin Dillon, we'll be here all night. But with only 8 laps to go, it is getting intense. Hal Amy up the middle. And it is side by side as far as the eye can see for this race lead. Joseph Andujar holds on to it. Now, here's the question. If they stay side by side for 8 laps till we get the white flag, which I'd be very impressed if they do, because I don't think we're going to stay green till then. I think we're going to go green-white checker. But if they stay side by side like this, do you think we see anyone form a 3rd lane on the final lap just as a last-ditch effort? Yeah, look at him up there. He's got, what, Steve Seegers in tow behind him? They formed a 3rd lane. It's Steve Seegers, Jared Cox, I think, and Steven Blankenship trying to make things happen. And Aiden Young. Aiden Young says, hey, I want a piece of the top line. Well, hey, the bottom line wasn't going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere for the last, what, 10 laps, 20 laps. You know, maybe the top line's a good place to go. That they do. Well, hey, Talladega's a wide enough racetrack. They can make 3-wide racing work if they keep it clean. 4 wide, 4 wide. Look at that. 4 wide down the front straightaway. How long that's going to last? And there it is. Hal Amy up into the wall. No caution. If he keeps it down on the bottom, come on, Hal. Keep it going. Keep it going. Man, that could have been bad. I was going to say, maybe that'll get these guys to settle down for 5 laps. It won't. If anything, that'll get them to race harder. And they are side by side. Joseph Andujar has led for 26 laps. Will he lead for 6 more? What's your pick? I'm going to go with maybe he'll lead for 5 more. Oh, Jared Cox turns around. Trent Ripley involved. Only 2 cars spin. But with 5 laps to go, that sets us up for a green-white checker finish. And that might be Trent Ripley's night done in. Not because the car's too damaged, but, well, not because the front's too damaged, but look what it did to his tire. Broke the steering shaft, broke the axle. That car's not going anywhere. I mean, you can see, look at the tire there. He's gonna have to get that towed in, man. He was having such a good night. You can see what happens here. You see Jared Cox, unfortunately, that's his teammate there, Steven Blankenship, that turns him, and, you know, Ripley gets into Cox, and just there goes the left front axle of that car. And you got to give credit to Trent Ripley for trying to get it back to pit lane. Because he, honestly, if that, I mean, you know, there still was a race car there. But that wheel's just shot. Yep. Well, I don't even think Ripley got the wall. I think it was all when he got into Jared Cox. Oh, yeah, yep. And you see one more time, just you watch that front axle break loose. So Trent Ripley's night is effectively over. If he comes back out, we'll wait to see. But we'll take it to a quick break. We don't want to interview these drivers right now because I don't want to break their concentration at a track like this. But the question is, will we only use one green-white checker? Wait and find out. All right, with 3 laps to go, we'll take the 2 to go on the restart. It'll be a green, white, checker finish. The multi-million-dollar question everyone has on their mind, do they get to the white flag? We'll start with you, Jacob. What's your bet? It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Pace car getting ready to go down. There he goes. This will be potentially the final restart of the night. And here we go. Coming through the tri-oval. There's the restart box. There's the flag. We're racing. It may very well be the final restart of the evening. Ryan Daniels got a great start. That's exactly what he needed. Can he win this race? Can he do it? Lap and a half to go. Derek Robinson coming up to speed. He's got a good car too. He's got to get a good run. That outside line just got a better restart than the bottom did. But they got Austin Wagner down on the bottom. They're working good together. Side by side. If they get to the white flag, they'll race it out. Doesn't matter how many cars wreck on the final lap. It ends under green. Here we go. Final lap of the race. Ryan Daniels, he's going to need a good run to do it. Well, we'll see what happens. Straight down the back straightaway now for the final time. Who's it going to be? Who's going to win at Talladega? Half a lap to figure it out. I tell you what, Derek Robinson, Glenn Jamieson, 2 drivers that at one point were multiple laps down, looking to potentially win. What a finish it would be if Derek Robinson can do it. Joseph Andujar with a great run. He'll go high. He'll go up to block. It's not going to work. Ryan Daniels is wrecked. Both drivers in the grass. Derek Robinson, he might have a chance. Austin Wagner's around. Drag race, I think maybe Derek Robinson had it. What a finish. Derek Robinson, I don't know what the margin was. 0.013 was the margin of victory on that one for Derek Robinson. Yeah. I mean, it's Talladega. How could it not be chaotic? Derek Robinson, again, at one point, he was a lap down. If you remember that, he got the lucky dog on the lap 28 competition caution. At that point, he just played a smart race from that point forward and puts that car in victory lane. And, I mean, man, that's got to be completely gut-wrenching, though, for Ryan Daniels. He was running second, had a clear track ahead of him to win that race. Unfortunately, got caught up in that final crash. But we'll get Derek Robinson. Actually, I don't see him. Do you see him in the Discord? Because I don't, unfortunately. Well, we'll start from the second place, Steve Seegers, then. I know I do see Derek Robinson, but they're all in the K&N lobby, and we can't move them up. So we're going to all go down to the K&N lobby, and we'll go try and talk to them down there. that would be good. Can you get them to move up into the stage, main lobby, and then we can drag them up in here. Thank you, thank you. And while we do that, we'll take a look at that final lap and a half. Our final half a lap, and you see here, they were just down the backstretch, Jacob. Absolute crazy racing here, and it's just, this is Talladega, quintessential Talladega racing, hard driving for this win. And you can see Glenn Jameson pushing Derek Robinson. Well, Derek, you had a great race here, and we'll get your interview in a second. We're just rewatching this finish right quick, and you can see Joseph Andujar, you got just a little bit of a nudge, and that's where him and Daniels made contact. And then Austin Wagner goes around as well, and man, you won that race by probably one of the closest finishes I've ever seen at Talladega. Tell us about it. Now, at one point in this race, you were a lap down. Walk us through you running from a lap down to winning this race. All right, well, any sponsors you want to mention? That's odd because I've got it showing that my audio's coming through. Give me a moment, I'll check that out. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, they are correct. You can't hear the broadcast. I can hear myself talking. I don't know. Give us a moment, folks. Bear with us. It's weird because it was working it was working all race, and then it's cut out on us. So now it's just, yeah, no, it's gone. Okay, then. Is that gonna fix it? If one of you guys could talk for a second.
What would you like me to say?
1, 2, 3.
All right, there we go. We got something now. We got something.
Okay.
We got something. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why that happened, or for that matter, I should say how that happened.
Okay.
But we've got some audio now. Anyway. So Derek Robinson, walk us through that amazing finish.
Finish was good, man. I started off in the on the second side there, and I just got a good push from the I'm not sure which car it was, the red and black one there that was behind me, and I was able to sneak it down. And oh no, pardon me. Buddy came up and tried to give me a little bit of a block there, and for some reason